Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Star Dream Garden. I have been really using the power of my inner child to transmute pain and fear. I choose to transmit my light to heal the world of negative ways. I choose to transmit my light to heal the world of negative ways. We are strong in our light force. We honor love in all things. Let the water through. Let the water through. Let the water through. Let the water. The universe supports me in my prosperity. The universe wants me to feel prosperous. The universe gifts me prosperity. Hello, welcome to the Star Dream Garden. Today we will be talking about money. I'm feeling very in my woes of heavy energy. I know I'm releasing and just reflecting on about money and family dynamics and the wounds money has had in my life, and it's a lot. And so today, because I've also been feeling just fairly low today, just my hormonal cycle and adjusting to working a full week, which is very new to me as I'm neurodivergent and have avoided doing that, but I just trying to change the way. I just want more income, to be honest. I want more. I want to be able to build savings in all these things, and I work a job as a child care provider, and I have been doing that for the past few years, and it's been really beautiful and honestly lucrative without having a college degree, without a lot of the things that having a traditional job has. I do really have a lot of gratitude for it, and I also just really love children. I am very, very good with children. It's part of another passion of mine. Playing, creating autonomy, helping children find their own emotional autonomy, like those things. But I'm getting distracted because I want to do a little art collage kind of creative coaching session, as I'm a creative coach who uses art therapy practices, art therapy tools to create a safe space for exploration with the self. The power of art therapy is that you don't have to necessarily talk. And as a coach, I can create that space while also adding elements of goal making, connecting with, like things you might want to transmute in your life. And today I want to transmute a lot of this like money shame and ancestral wounds with money. So let's get into that shadow work and talk about it. I found these on the ground today, these little lottery tickets, and I was like, the universe does not want me to feel less than worthy of receiving billions of dollars. And it might even feel icky to like say like, I actually want billions of dollars in my life. Like, I deserve it. I've already done enough in my lifetime so far to receive billions of dollars, like. And I also just finished reading this book called The Soul of Money, which talks about the feeling of sufficiency, and that to live in a sufficient mind, a sufficient life, and to see how money can be a tool to create thriving worlds for other people. That's the universe, that's the world that we all want to live in, a world of sufficiency, a world of I have enough. And I don't necessarily speak about the really hard feelings I have with my family and money, because it's really painful and honestly just feels really wrong most of the time. I have a lot of big wounds. I am acknowledging and healing a lot with my mother figure. And to be honest, I like call myself my mother. Like, if I really ask who my mom is, it's me. No one else has showed up for me the way I've shown up for myself. And so that matters more to me to say, to like feel. But the reality also is my birth mother, the person who raised me my whole life, would berate me and yell at me and do a lot of icky things out of her own fear and like jealousy, I think. And I've had to like acknowledge just how intense my relationship with money was before I even knew how to make money. It's really hard to talk about because it just is like, I think we're also just so heavily conditioned that talking about money is wrong. But as somebody who like literally was just confused about how people even made money, like I was just like, I don't feel like not talking about it is helping anybody. Like, how can you not talk about this? Like, we all need this. We all need to survive. And also we need to not just survive. I essentially was raised by people who were in survival mode when it came to their finances. And the way that affected me was I really despised the idea of money because I saw it as a tool for suffering. And I think so many people experience that in this world. So many people experience not having enough, and so there's this inherent suffering that comes with it. And that's why like money is not seen as something good. And there's a lot of ways like like in an ideal universe we wouldn't need these structures and these weird concepts we made up as a way to like, I don't know, like try to have a certain life. Like It just doesn't make sense. It's not natural. But there's also the duality of we live in this world right now, and this is what is a necessary tool right now. And so I've had to learn to not see money as an evil force, because that I can't afford to do that, like I can't afford to have money be seen as negative when it's something I need to thrive. And I just sat down and it can also be kind of boring. I think switching gears a little bit, it's also kind of intense for me to come to terms with my own powers of earth elements, of functionality, systemic understanding, seeing how money is very clear when you get to the point of being able to receive the information. I've had to do a lot of work to be able to even just sit down today. For the first time in my life, I sat down today and it's what are some good budgeting apps? What are some good money management apps out there in the world? Because I want to be able to run my business properly. I want to be able to understand how these metrics work. I want to understand what money I actually have on a weekly basis to use, where I'm still saving money and not just overspending it all. And the reality is that is a certain person within me that I haven't had to meet before. I love to be creative and playful and live with a very magical mind, but I also am learning how to root that down into the physical reality, to not disparage myself. I don't know if that's the right word, but to not self-sabotage, basically. And it hurts. It hurts to acknowledge the ways I have to take care of myself even deeper. And I think that's why I also feel so many wounds coming up, because I have to acknowledge all the ways that money was just not used properly around me. And it hurts because I strongly believe in money as an energy reflective of myself. And I love myself. And I also need to form a sense of detachment from the monetary numerical value of what is actually present, on a day-to-day basis sometimes. Because I don't want my idea of worth and my sense of worth to actually come from a numerical value, but rather the energy of being cared for, the energy of being loved. I'm waiting for these to dry. I think I might, I'm gonna let these dry a little bit and then just draw and write ways I want money to feel. Using money affirmations, using receiving wealth affirmations, which I have some on Spotify right now at Star Dream Garden, my little podcast. Using these affirmations of I am capable to receive wealth, my inner child is wealthy. These are the ways that I teach myself how to be loved. I know the wounds are so valuable. They're a valuable source of knowledge because I know my story is unique. My story with money is unique because, I'm the only one teaching myself how to be wealthy in my life. And I think like going back to this idea of why being a billionaire seems so wrong, it's because often the billionaires we see are people of generational wealth, and they did not grow up in environments where they experienced that level of financial suffering, of just like not knowing what food you're gonna have that day, like just like all these levels, or like and so there needs more people like us who work from the ground up, because we understand the power of money. I posted a reel today advocating for myself as a creative coach and saying that creativity builds autonomy within your, like, you understand your sense of autonomy when you use art to create the world around you, or you just use your artistic energy. And it's honestly something I'm still learning a lot about, and will always be learning a lot about, just how powerful and magical it truly is to be a creator, which we all are. There is not one single human on earth that does not have the ability to create art, or to be creative, or to view yourself as creative. There's so many people I meet that like literally have more creative skills than I do, but like don't even like put themselves on a pedestal. Like they don't say like I'm an artist. They're like, I do this and sometimes I do this, but it's like, why not? Like why do you say like I can't be this kind of person? Like I feel like that comes into a sense of autonomy, or like a lack of autonomy, like thinking you don't have that power. And because of this corporate capitalism system, like our jobs and our ways to make money and all these things can kind of become like the main idea of who we are, like that's not the truth. Like we are infinitely more powerful than anything outside of ourselves. Like being a billionaire is just because you know you're capable to receive that. And like maybe you have to do some cool things to do it, but also at the same time, like it shouldn't make you feel any more different, because it's just naturally already who you are, And I just like really believe in a wealthy majority where all people on earth have access to the same wealth someone born with $1 million trust fund has. Because why are there these limitations or regulations on money? Because it's simply a reflection of inner power in the people, the organizations that try to treat money like a limited resource do not actively understand this new world that we're running into. And I don't mean like new world, new earth. I'm not trying to like create this like spirituality thing necessarily with that, but like we literally live in a new world where I'm speaking to potentially the whole planet through my phone, and the whole planet could Venmo me right now and I'd have $1 billion. You know what I mean? Like money is an infinite resource amongst all people. And I'm gonna put some gold flakes on my little art project because I need to remember I am golden. Because I'm trying to stay honest to being clear about my own shadows. The way I was raised innately made me pay way more attention to the people harming me than to myself. And so I was incapable to truly understand my value, and that I am a golden person with a large value, because I was abused and emotionally berated for just being myself for the sake of someone else's fear. Like, I don't harmonize with the energy of fear anymore. And because I'm feeling all of these emotions come up and these negative thoughts and all these things like come back into my body from these experiences that my brain developed around as a child, my brain developed around fear, and hearing my own mother like feel helpless in the face of money, when the truth is that my mother has probably made more money in her life than she could comprehend, but she just didn't know how to like make it thrive because of a mindset, because of a lack mentality. And I think like you can get so stuck in the idea of like manifestation and all these things, which are things I do advocate for, and I do use those powers because the voice is powerful. We break spells through our voice. And part of that spell I'm breaking is that I get to experience the full view of my feelings without it having be attached to my worth. Like, I get to be kind of depressed today and just be like, honey, I have a 30-day cycle with the moon and I'm not in the happy part anymore, and I have a lot of theories as to why those emotions come up. That's for another day. But like, I get to feel depressed and know that I'm still secure in my finances, but I need to remind myself of that. And honestly, for the past few hours I've been feeling very insecure in my finances, but it's like just a momentary feeling. And yeah, I don't know, it's definitely hard. I can even tell I'm still not being super emotionally vulnerable as I'd want to, because it also just feels very logical to like get into money relationships, like just learning how money works. Like, it can just be a very logical process, but I think it's lifting the veil for me. This is honestly, I think I need to talk because this is kind of hard to do at the same time. I'm gonna pause and just write, I am golden in the middle of this. I am golden. I am a billionaire. I feel worthy. I deserve this. The irony of negativity is that it pushes me exactly to the feeling I want to have, because I can't feel the feeling of nurture or love without knowing the opposite of it. Knowing who you are, and not the surface level identity you may craft for yourself, but knowing who you are means nobody has the power to tell you who you are. And my inner child deserves to put some stars on this. But my inner child talks to me a lot, because as a child, you don't have, like, as a child, I didn't think I was unworthy of a good life. I actually, through the ability to daydream, was very understanding of how magical this world is, because I experience this world as pure magic. There's literally children like running to come towards me right now. That's funny. But like, when you experience and live in this world like a child, you tap into the innate magic of life. Like running through a field of flowers, sitting with these trees right now, like that is magical. This is what's happening so far. Look at this. I made this. I did that. I think when I get stuck in feelings of feeling incapable or feeling like things are falling apart, things are like spreading out, like it's just like such a huge feeling of like nothing going my way. And I think that honestly it gets into my capability, my like solar plexus area, like literally just my action driven capabilities, because of the abuse I've like suffered under, and just the way like I just wasn't told how to create a good life. I just like, yeah, like I'm just trying to say, making little collages. Hold on. Using art to just make a collage of something that you can see and you say, I did that, like that carries out throughout everything in your life. Like your brain catches you when you start implementing these tools for thriving, these tools for creating, these tools for wanting good things. Your brain starts actually wanting those things for you. That subconscious part of you, your like passive person meets your action person, and they create plans together to actually be in harmony. You know, it's like hard to listen to an affirmation of saying, I love myself, I want good things for myself, and to just be like, no. Because like you don't want to not like yourself. You don't want to be mean to yourself. And so when you're actively confronting that part of you by saying the opposite of something, like going back to what I just said of I wouldn't be able to understand nurture and feeling cared for without also feeling the opposite. So then that opposite feeling gets to meet those feelings and be like, oh, hey, like I can become you. Can become you. I don't know if you heard what one of those children that were running by me said, but they were like, I see something that can turn into this. I see something that can turn into this. Like, we need to activate that part of our minds again as a community of people on earth, that we believe in what we see as a potential to be something, and that we see ourselves as potential to be something, that nothing is finite, like we can actually actively use everything around us to create new things, because we need new things. We need the power of our creativity to come into this world and say, actually, this like gentrified neighborhood in Los Angeles is going to actually turn into something that looks like community gardens and restoring the like wealth and thriving of BIPOC-led, BIPOC cared for communities, you know, like let's start using those brain that thing. And it really just comes back to like, how good can I make this? How good can we make this? Like, we do not have the time to be in a lack mentality, to be in a mentality where we do not actually feel like we're thriving because of what we see or what we hear. We can get so caught up in all these narratives that like nothing is working or nothing is thriving. But that's just the people who are scared to see us thrive, trying to make us feel belittled. If I was raised in a household where I was scared and society behaves the same, I'm using a little bit nuance, I'm on the nose but not too on it, and just look at things on TikTok, I guess, to stay informed. But like, if we stop looking at those people, if we stop looking at specific fruits in the salad bowl as the poison of the salad, and we actually just like make a new salad without even having to go to the poison, is the poison even real anymore? Does that make sense? And I'm not trying to be avoidant or like, everyone's doing a really good job, is all I'm saying. Yeah, but like, I don't know, there's just like a way of using personal power to be able to just literally redesign this world. And that's why I'm a creative coach. That's why I want to work one-on-one with people, because I see the one-on-one as a reflection of the whole. I see what I do with myself as a reflection of the whole. I see that money is a reflection of the whole, and that I want people to just come back into that childlike state of abundance, because it is childlike to want to live well.